gentlemen, this is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to...
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too sharp, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grind together, we all came from hunger pain.
Yeah. We back. The boys. Herogasm. All right? Catch up. We doing whole... Look, there's a lot to talk about. Welcome to NERDSoul. NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that stuff. But, all right, we got an esteemed guest, all right? This gentleman right over here, he knows things, all right? He's going to be able to tell us the difference, what's going on. And I have questions about Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, tell him. All right, so I'm going to give a shout out to Nate Miller right over here. What's up?
Yay, happy to be back. This show's crazy.
Yes. All right, since we last spoke, we talked about the premiere and everything. How are you feeling about the show so far? Where it's been, last time we spoke, we were at episode 3, now we're at episode 6. How you feeling?
I love it. I think this season is like the best that the show has been so far. This episode was just fantastic. It was really well directed. The writing was also really great, bringing all the characters together. And also it was really satisfying, the fight and all that stuff. Like it hit all of the boxes really well. I hope that they can keep this consistency throughout the rest of the season. I feel pretty confident so far. But yeah, they've just done a really good job of like ramping up the stakes, while also like it makes sense for the story and for the characters. But yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, I have to agree. They've been coming with it this season, and it's not that season 2 was whack or season 1 was whack, but it definitely seems like maybe because it was building to this and we're still continuing, but they are on a streak with just like what the Congresswoman is doing, what Hughie's doing, what's going on in Milk's life, like Starlight, not Starlight no more. You know what I'm saying? No, she quit. She gave up that narcotic. You know what I'm saying? So even the new stuff with like Homelander looking in the mirror, just that. Wow. I mean, of course, with layered with craziness. Yes, layered, but a lot of stuff in there. Like A-Train. A lot of stuff in there with the deep. Just okay. Like this show. I didn't expect it to be this good. And I was like, The Boys, it's a good show, like watching it. But now, like these guys, they might be shooting to maybe not the top, but they're getting up there.
Yeah, I definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I definitely think that like the first 2 seasons, they were still kind of figuring out like what is the show, what can we get away with, and also. This is something that's very unlike anything else that's really out there for this genre. For superheroes, we haven't really, there's not too much superhero parody, mature superhero stuff out there. So I think they had to kind of tread carefully. And now that they're confidently, they have a fan base, people like the show, they can kind of get more into the weird stuff and be like push the boundaries even more. But I like that they've done that while also still the characters are still fleshed out. They have arcs, they have things that they want and desire, right? Like, and it's very satisfying to see them all end up at that party together for different reasons that the season has like built up. And it makes sense. It doesn't feel like forced, like, oh, everybody's just going to be there. It's just like, oh, they're there. Oh, they're there. And it's like, all right, that makes sense.
And everybody's like, man, Frenchie's really going to be mad he missed
That
this.
was really funny. Yeah.
Like the fact that both Milk and I think Butcher said it. So just the fact that it was brought up by two camps in this, and also that we've got more than just two camps now.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and shout out to Jenna James in the chat. It was at first two camps. Butcher's crew, and we got Butcher's crew and we got Vought. And that's it. And now we got, the ice is cracking under the floor at Vought. We got Butcher's crew is pretty much the Butcher duo. Well, no, sorry, trio. This is the Butcher trio. And Milk is off. You got Milk with Annie. You get, wow. And even within Vought, it's the ground is shaky. It's extremely shaky.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to talk about characters, see how, check in on them, see how we feel about them. I guess we can start. Jenna James opens up, so I guess I'll start with your boy Homelander. I think I'll start with Homelander. Since she brought it up, she says Homelander was staring at the mirror because he was looking at the bruise on his face, probably the first one he ever had. He was realizing he actually is vulnerable. Yeah, so okay, I'll bring up Homelander. These last 3 episodes, even this most recent one, seeing him in the mirror, seeing like, the split personality, saying, I got you through the, what is it, the danger room, the terror room, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm misphrasing it or whatever. But not only that part, but then, yeah, like you said, seeing that bruise, being like, hold up, I can't let anyone see me into this thing because, if God can bleed, and now it did take 3 people, but this is also 3 people that have never ever fought together and have no teamwork skills at this moment, and they did that. So imagine if they rolled in there with like the 96 Bulls, you know what I'm saying? If they had real teamwork, it might have been lights out for your boy. So, but I'll leave it up to you real quick. I want to your thoughts on Homelander up until now. His psyche, where he's at. Try to run, just a company man. Just trying to run the company. That's all he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think Anthony Starr's performance this season has been incredible. Every season so far, he's kind of become more unhinged, but it's not over the top. It's very subtle, and it's almost scarier that way. Yeah, I thought the fight was really, really good. It was choreographed really well. I really liked him making fun of Soldier Boy, making fun of Homelander for wearing the cape. I thought was pretty funny, and then throwing him to the ground like with the cape. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if they trained up together, that fight would have gone differently. But I think that Butcher was just expecting Soldier Boy to just roll over Homelander, or at least just be able to handle him on his own.
It didn't really work out like that.
No, I
was surprised that Soldier Boy, even after getting hit by Homelander, did not seem like, apparently, well, see, he's also been tortured for so long. So like his pain tolerance is probably way different.
I think he is, I'm just speculating. I think he's more he's more of like invincible and vulnerable kind of a guy, whereas Homelander is like very strong and is resistant to some stuff, obviously, but he more so has like, the flying and the laser eyes on him, whereas like Soldier Boy can't fly, can't shoot laser beams out of his eyes. He can shoot energy out of his chest and blow things up, but So I would like to see Homeland. I mean, not that I want him to win, but I feel like you just grab him and you just fly up and then you start fighting in the air and just drop him. But yeah, the fight was really good. Him talking to himself in the mirror was great. I am really enjoying how they have been also showing him controlling VOD and the obvious like parallels to Trump and other egomaniac leaders, right? And just everyone that's not doesn't agree with me is a liar. It's fake news. Everything's totally fine. Just go out. Like I like how they're able to do that. This kind of like social political commentary without it feeling too heavy-handed. I mean, it is kind of the point of the show, but it makes sense for the characters.
It doesn't seem like after school specially.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm scared for the people in that show of what's going to happen with Homelander. Cause like, I don't think he's going to fully snap because part of him needs that to be loved, right? He needs that people to worship him. So you can't, but he can still do a lot of damage in between. So
yes. And then you have that split personality. Like, we need to cut that out of you. We need to get that. And we know it's been renewed for season 4. So if, he does cut out that part, like say at the end of this season, like, look, I'm done with this company, whatever. I'm cutting out all the humanity. It might not be a good look for a lot of, but I mean, you got Hughie, he's getting his teleport on. We'll talk about Hughie in a second. We got, but they do got to juice up before. So, and I'm sure supply is low. It's not, you can't just run to 7-Eleven and pick that up. So
yeah, I'm sure it's also probably not great for your body too.
No, I'm sure they're probably going to have like some kind of like kidney disease or something by the end of the season. Like something, they're going to have to pay for that, in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure. But yeah, just thinking about Homelander, one crazy good performance of the like, is he gonna kill this person right now? Because like, this is a show that not everyone's promised tomorrow. I mean, sort of. You assume like Butcher's gonna make it because you need a main protagonist, I guess. Starlight's gonna make it, or Annie's gonna make it. You figure Homelander's gonna make it, at least for a while. But then outside of those three, it's like, you might. I don't even know.
I think Hughie and Butcher are really the only ones that can't die, or at least not yet. Everybody else, I think, is. And with the way that the show has gone, I could narratively see them having Homelander just eviscerate them.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it over to Mr. A-Train. Okay, so A-Train, he's
that video, man, with the stock footage still in there.
Okay, A-Train. All right, so
I'm gonna be honest though, like I still don't like A-Train, but
maybe trying. But
yeah, I respected his character a lot more in this episode because one, they brought up all that shit that he did in the past that no one is really talked about lately, and then he like actually was like, oh shit, yeah, I did do that. That's really bad because like he's lived in his own superhero world for so long with no consequences, and now, right, and now that his brother has suffered the consequences, he realizes the hurt that he's caused to other people. So I thought that was really interesting. I did not expect him to apologize to Hughie at all. I was like, whoa.
When he did that, I was like, word. I was like, you know what? Okay, growth. All right, I see you. I was proud to see that. I wasn't expecting it, and because at first it seemed like he was gonna just be like, I do what I want, get out of my face, I hate you.
Right.
But when he apologized, and it seemed as sincere as it's gonna get. I think like I was impressed. And
I think he was sincere. I think he's not very good at apologizing, but
yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe you're right. He's not very good at it. He's never really had to. He's been a superhero. It's like, so everyone's basically just adorned him with praise. But Ashley was like, well, I don't care. Now, I don't know if you would get that same kind of energy with Homelander. I think she knew the battle to pick. I think she knew.
Yeah.
Oh man!
I mean,
Antoine
but she's
Allen
also
said A-Train is the great value Juneteenth ice cream version.
Stop. Oh no.
Oh boy.
I lost what I was gonna say. I was just thinking about that. A-Train. What are we talking about with him? Oh, Ashley. So she's becoming more and more like Homelander. And in this episode too, she had that like red and white like blazer on, almost like she's copying his costume too. Like I'm curious if she I in my opinion, it's just like a Stockholm syndrome situation where she's becoming empathetic to this person that is holding her captive because her brain is trying to like figure out how to handle living under that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, her losing her shit and telling him off and ripping her hair out, like also great performance from A-Train too. Like you can see the change in him, like
yeah,
especially in this season as like things have happened to him. Like you can actually see it in the way the character is depicted, that like he's thinking about things differently. Yeah, I was not expecting
after that community meeting. It was just average everyday people, and you know they got wrecked in there.
That was so bad.
And when I was watching that, I kind of paused it for a moment and was thinking about his brother. I'm like in his brother's voice, like, bruh, I gotta apologize for you all the time. And then you bring this dude in here. You know what I'm saying? You bring this dude in here, now I make it look like I'm like I did this. Like, fine, 5 minutes kind of thing. You know,
yeah. I mean, Blue Hawk is a very
times he has to be like, well, you know, my brother, is different things with art. You know, he just trying to do his, he got to be on the, he probably has to apologize for A-Train a lot.
I don't know. I'm sure that, especially for as long as A-Train's been around, I'm sure everybody knows, everybody, at least in the neighborhood, I'm sure they know. They're like, yeah, A-Train.
They're like, A-Train.
Like when Terry Crews says something,
don't
it's
expect
like,
too
all
much.
right.
Yeah, it's like, don't expect too much. It's A-Train.
You know how he is. He's one of those.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, don't expect too much support from him. Like,
just and that ending, man. Ooh. Especially with Blue Hawk, obviously kind of being a stand-in for corrupt law enforcement. Like, ooh. That was wild.
I was wondering what was going to happen because, I mean, he went to his super speed, and I was like,
yeah, because I remember we had
this because isn't he gonna die? But he didn't die, so
I don't think he's dead. Yeah, I think but I do think that he is one step closer to. I think what I said when we did our first review is that he's gonna end up probably to like either stop Homelander, defeat Homelander at the end of the season. Like he's gonna end up like sacrificing himself, because that's also really like the only way that he can redeem himself at this point, right? Is like to actually be apologetic, try to go and be a better person, and then kill yourself in the process, basically.
And outside of and he's kind of hit a couple things outside of that trailer. Oh man. Wow. But that trailer, like you said, with the stock photo in it, but outside of the trailer, we've seen him actually stand up for people that kind of essentially have no voice in this, in this setting. He did apologize for what he did wrong. He's reflected on the people he's hurt in the past. So he's probably, like you say, I agree. I think he's probably on the way to sacrificing himself for something or someone, and that's A-Train probably gone at the end of this season. I think, maybe like penultimate episode or something like that, or maybe the episode before that, sacrifices himself, like one last run, like maybe like in Justice League where the Flash runs until he kind of like phases out. And maybe
I was just thinking that they might do something like, I could see this show doing something where Homelander like wins or like kills everybody or something, and then he runs fast enough to turn back time or something like that, like a parody of like some Flash thing in order to give them another chance. It's a little far-fetched because they haven't shown his powers to be that strong, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
they've
They
been
do a lot
very
of comic
vague on
references,
what
or maybe he
can
will
do.
try to do that and fail. Like just
Like they've been very vague on like how super speed works in in this world in general.
right.
So let's since we go around the horn, Soldier Boy. I've been wanting to ask you about Soldier Boy. So you've already told me, hey, the comic book version, like the TV version, is doing a much better job. They're changing this, changing that. That's great. Is Soldier Boy like is Homelander at all scared of Soldier Boy in the comics at all? Or is it
No.
even that relationship in the comics?
No. So in the comics, Soldier Boy is not just one person. The first Soldier Boy was like another super soldier that in the course of assisting in the war accidentally killed a bunch of their own troops that they were with. So then somebody else killed them like in spite. And then there have been a couple since then that are like holding the mantle, and the public believes that it's the same person, but it's really not. So the one in the boys books is not super strong. He's the leader of Payback, but he will do anything to be in the 7, even to the point of so their Herogasm is a whole arc in the books, where like Homelander calls a press conference and tells everyone like, oh, all of us superheroes and supervillains, we're gonna join forces together to fight these aliens off in space to save Earth, right? But really they go to an island and just have a big sex orgy for like a week or whatever. So in the books it's a much longer event. There's more kind of going on to it, but within that, Soldier Boy actually goes to Herogasm and has sex with Homelander as Homelander like persuades him to, so that he can join Payback or the 7. And then in the end he's like, actually no, I don't think so. And that's kind of one of the reasons that in the books, that's kind of where like Homelander realizes, oh, I can kind of do whatever I want, can I? Like because also in the books Homelander is very different in the books too. Like he's kind of crazy, but not like as crazy as malicious, at least not in the start, as we've seen in the show.
All right.
So yeah, so there's a lot of differences between the characters. But that Soldier Boy is just like in the books it's really just a Captain America kind of a knockoff, where it's like it's the relationship of Captain America to Superman, right? Like yes, Cap is strong, he's tough, he's a great leader, but like ultimately, you're a fly compared to how strong Superman is, right? And in the show he's more like a Wolverine, Winter Soldier, Captain America hybrid, like, where he's like more this tough guy.
They do kind of like take all those characters and kind of put them together.
Yeah,
and now
I like that they adopted the references and made it more relevant to, especially like, so remember The Boys is Grant Morrison's, taking on superheroes, which he didn't like, but he's doing that in the medium that is primarily superheroes, right? So there's a lot of stuff that your audience automatically knows to draw from that you can parody. Whereas with this, because it's, movies, TV, the outside of, the comic people, the more general audience, which has been going to see comic movies and TV shows and stuff, like their language, so to speak, of like what's in that box to be parodied is kind of not limited, but it's different. So changing the references from comic stuff that not everybody will get to, more modern MCU, DC movie stuff and parodying that, like makes it easier to connect with, especially now. And I think they've been doing a really good job with it too.
Definitely. And shouts out to Dean, you know what I'm saying? Dean, we here, you know what I'm saying? You had to go in Supernatural. Show's over, but it's good to see you back. It's very weird seeing him this way, but it is cool. It's cool seeing it on the screen. We'll see you. Sam, hey, Eric. All right, Eric, I know you got Bobby on there. You got Dean on it. Where's Sam at? You know what I'm saying? Let's get Sam in next season.
There's still another season. I'm surprised we haven't seen them in like the celebrity cameo spots yet, because that would make sense.
Yeah, that celebrity song that I was like, oh, Gal Gadot, I forgot all about that. She was trying. Girl, she was trying. You know what I'm saying? Give her an E for effort. But one thing I liked about, or I like that we see with Soulja Boy is he's still got the PTSD thing. He's not telling anyone about it. I mean, to a certain degree, he said that he blacked out. So he's kind of said that like I blacked out, but he's not really saying what's really going on. Then also seeing him struggle, he couldn't kind of chest blast on command because they had him dead to rights, like for a good 10 seconds. Like your boy Homelander was done, and I'm sure he's looking in that mirror like he's probably freaking out way more than his face will let us know.
I don't think he's freaking out as much as he is. It just changes the equation, I think. Like part of the reason also why the fight went that way is because he did not really regard them as threats. He sees himself as this untouchable god, so he fights like that. So then you have these people that now, because remember, he didn't know that Butcher was taking the V, right? To have the powers. Yeah. He didn't know that. So now all of a sudden you're fighting not just Soulja Boy, but Soulja Boy and Butcher, and also Hughie's there. And,
naked Hughie.
That all of that being caught off guard also added to their ability to overpower it. But yeah, I mean, they've shown that he obviously that thing comes from him when he has like an emotional response or something. And I don't know. I don't think that he's harnessed it. They also really haven't explained if that is something that came from the Russians or like if he could do that before, because it didn't seem like he could do that before, or at least they didn't show us that. But he hasn't been like, what is this weird thing coming out of my chest? And then he was like trying to warm up to use it. So he has some control over it. I don't know. That part's a little blurry for me.
And Antoine Allen said, looks like he needs a few days to recover from a blast. Seems like he hasn't done more than one blast in a day. So maybe because it did seem like it was trying to warm up, but it didn't really go through.
That could definitely be a thing too. Yeah. Cause he did just pop one out, like literally just before that fight started.
Yeah, he blew up a whole.
And that was a big one.
Yeah, he tore. So, the fight scene was awesome. We'll double back to the fight scene, but let's go in and talk about Herogasm for a second. So when the episode starts, they're like, "Hey, look, check it. This episode gonna be crazy," and you're like, "Every episode's crazy." And they're like, "No, hold on, before you go further."
That's what I was saying. I was like, where was this warning before I watched the first episode?
Yeah, like where were all the other stuff that
blew
went
up
crazy?
A tiny man inside of a penis.
It's like where there's mad stuff that was crazy and you didn't tell us about that. And they're like, understand, but this one we actually have to. Amazon said we got to show you this. So, all right, so. When you come to someone's house and they answer the door like that, you're like, we didn't catch you in the middle of something, did we? Should we come back another time? Because you half butt naked and you got some kind of dominatrix stuff on, and we're wearing normal everyday clothes, like people do. So, is there, and y'all are brother and sister, so are we missing something? Like, no, come on in. Everybody's naked. Let's go. And, Milk ain't do nothing, man. This is his favorite jacket, all right? His favorite jacket. He didn't ask for much. He's just like, hey, I like my favorite jacket. I like to wear my jacket. I don't know how to mess up my jacket. Not only did the guy literally jump out of
Love Sausage?
Yeah, Love Sausage came through and it was like, look, hey, back up, man. Like, what is up with, why would, you don't know me like that. And maybe it's just natural for him to just be rolling with it all. No, man. You got to warm up people all right, hey, look, I know we just met. I want you to know there's a part of me that it moves kind of, on its own. He shut the door with it, man. I
mean, to be fair,
wipe it down.
He's at a superhero orgy. So
true,
it's not like you just went to his house on a regular day and he was
understood.
Who's knocking on my door? Not that I condone that type of behavior, but there's a little bit of implied consent when you walk in the door at an orgy.
Yeah. And also My wife made a good statement. The people walking around with like hors d'oeuvres and stuff, don't eat that. Don't eat that. No. Nah, just don't eat that.
You gotta refuel, okay? You gotta keep the energy up there. You can't be orgying on an empty stomach. Come on.
Oh man, he shut the door with it. They didn't wipe down the door. There's just, and then the guy jumps out of some stuff and then brushes his jacket, messes up his jacket. Then he gets straight blasted. Like,
that was unnecessary.
I'm gonna be honest, my day would have been over. Starlight would have been on her own. I'm done. I'm done. I hate Soulja Boy. I hate Homelander, but I don't hate them this much. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm finished. No, I need to soak in ammonia for like an hour. And then maybe we can talk. Cause
yeah.
I think that's, but we do get some meaningful interaction. We get Hughie. Hughie jumps in there butt naked. I mean, it works. Like he needs to learn how to carry his clothes with him. That's
When I found out that they were both gonna be there, for a second I was like, are they gonna do the thing where he pops in and then he's naked and then Starlight's there and sees him there naked and thinks that he's there? But they didn't do that, thank God, because that would have been really cliche and dumb.
They didn't do that part, but him jumping in and then the guy coming up to him and whispering, and he's like, I'm all tuckered out.
That's how you survive undercover. You just gotta stick and move.
Yeah, just went in there, just showed up naked. He was like, oh, okay, makes sense. We in here. But that whole event, yes, I know it's something that Soulja Boy, he's like, oh yeah, I founded this. This is my thing. Like this. Even though I guess they're all superheroes, when we watch the event, there's no, and I mean not any that I saw, security there. And on a security side, wouldn't you think that a villain would be like, oh, they're all here
what
at
villains?
this time?
What villains? Have you seen any villains on this show?
Yeah, it's a good point. They're not there.
Remember, everybody that has superpowers got it from Compound V. They got it from Vought.
You're right. So there's not.
I'm not saying there aren't, but there isn't
Lex Luthers, there's no Jokers. There's
right. Yes, there's some of them that have done their own thing or whatever, but like there isn't like any big, evil league of crime that like they have to like watch out for, right? And then also too, remember the whole point of like that like the idea of them being superheroes compared to humans, right, is that it's like a separating class kind of a thing. So again, like they view themselves outside of the way that humans do, right? So security, why do you need security? You got a guy who can make an ice dildo and love sausage, and Homelander might swing by. Like what do they need security for? Plus, I think that's what the hors d'oeuvres lady is for. Actually, undercover security.
See,
you don't want your security
roaming
to be seen.
Security. Good, smart. I see you. All right, so these are all trained CIA G14 classified people. All right, and they just keep it on the low. So smart, very smart. But the interactions with Starlight there, with seeing Soulja Boy, with Milk seeing Soulja Boy, and even Milk throwing the halothane or whatever, and Soulja Boy be like, yeah, I've been poisoned so much, this means nothing to me.
Yeah,
like,
that was dope.
Because I'm sure that's what all the radioactivity is about. They've probably I don't know, bathed them in uranium or something. So
when they had that video of him getting captured by the Russians, like in that room, they used that was the gas that they used to knock him out. So that's why he was like, oh, maybe this will work since it's worked before, but it did not. He builds up a tolerance, like, apparently.
Yeah, maybe it's like a hot pure grade or something. I don't,
Yeah,
but
or maybe it was because it wasn't a confined room, there was still enough air.
yeah, and respect to Milk. He was still willing to square up. Regardless, he squared up. You know, it and then when Butcher was like, look, man, it's my boy, just don't trip. He still squared up on him. So you know what? Milk, he's one of the realists out there.
For sure.
He's trying to stay like, hey, we said we weren't going to do this Vought stuff. I'm staying on this side. And he's trying to keep him level-headed because he was ready to risk it all. But the way that played out, like right before the main event, was awesome because you could see in his face, like he was even going there when he was driving and talking about it, like crying and stuff. Like this is something like he's been waiting for, and I think he was really willing to go blow for blow. Well, the fight might not have been that long, but I think he was completely willing to go there. And respect to him. Respect.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a little frustrated with his character because it like he's been the voice of reason for a very long time, and I understand that this is part of his like childhood trauma, but I don't know. This whole plot line is
okay.
I'm glad that they at least like if to me it feels like they needed a reason to have him there and to have him be like involved and also like give him a reason to disagree with Butcher while the group is falling apart. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel, I don't know. I think also too, it is in some ways it does show how even some like the one character who's supposed to keep everything together for the team can also struggle with their own issues. So I get that, but I don't know. I like Mother's Milk a lot. I really don't want anything to happen to him.
Yeah, I don't want anything
because I was very like, reckless right now.
I was like, when I saw him with Starlight, I was like, you know what? I wasn't expecting this team, but I'm actually not against this team. This team up is okay. All right, I can roll with this. I'm down with this team. I think this team kind of works. So, and the way Starlight is kind of understanding where he's coming from and still try to keep him like, don't go over the ledge. You know, Hughie already, you know, I went to Hughie and Hughie is just like, look, I'm full Butcher side now. Like I'm not even trying to bring some reason to Butcher. Like I'm just like, two peas in the pod, which I guess brings me to Hughie. We finally, and I guess understandably, him saying that her being stronger than him bothers him. I think I kind of get where he's coming from, but I wanted to ask you first, what did you get from that interaction between those two about her being like, yo, at first you said like being a superhero didn't matter and all this stuff. Like, what did you get from that interaction?
It was good. I don't think it's so much about like the strength as much as there have been many situations where he has felt helpless and she's either had to save him or someone else had to save her and he couldn't do anything. And so I think when he says like that, I think that's what he means by like he doesn't feel good about being weaker. But I don't know. It could also just be a hyper masculine, like I need to be the strong one thing, but it doesn't seem like Hughie. But I also do think that even if that was what he meant, I think the way that he explained it was very, very poor. And, there's a better way to have that communication of like, hey, I really care about you a lot. And like, sometimes I feel inadequate because you're super and I'm not. And if you needed to be helped or to be saved, I couldn't do it. Not that you need to be saved, but like there's a better way to communicate that than the way that he did. And yeah, I mean, I totally understand Starlight being upset also.
I see where you're coming from with that because you're feeling like Hughie being like, well, ultimately I'm useless. even in Butcher's crew, I'm useless. I don't have the, military training, the tactics or weapons or nothing. I have none of that. Then I'm also not super. So I'm just like here, and I know you're in danger. And in props to when he stood up to Homelander, props to that. Hey, look, hey, Hughie, we here, all right? But he's like, okay, I know this guy is crazy, and I couldn't do anything even if I wanted to. But explaining, like you said, explaining it poorly, because I kind of got the same feeling where it's like, no, I don't think it's like a competition thing with you. I think he's been thrown into this world where he feels essentially useless. Like he's just around. Everybody else can do cool stuff, and he's just on the sidelines. And he wants to get in the game too, because it's like, hey, well, I'm here, so I want to help too. I want to do something. And everybody's just like, oh, you're so cute. You want to do something. Like even Butcher is like, he's kind of, all honesty, Butcher has kind of sunned him through the first 2 seasons. And now,
yeah, I think he sees him as like his little brother that died.
Yeah. So, I can see him feeling useless and wanting power, not to be like, oh, well, you got power, so do I. But to be like, okay, cool. Like I can run with you guys. Like I got the skills too. Like I can be on the same level. I can be useful. You can do this and I can do this and you can do that. And like, instead of just being like, well, I'm at the Congresswoman's, office filling out papers. He doesn't see, at least at this point in the season, he doesn't see any value in that, especially after seeing that even that's kind of a game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I go between feeling sorry for Hughie and then just being like, Hughie, you getting on my nerves. Like,
yeah, I think that's fair. Because like it's one of those things where it's like we see both sides of the relationship, right? Where neither of them do. So we understand like why Hughie feels kind of inadequate, but we also understand why Starlight is annoyed with Hughie's behavior. So
yeah, it's like, yo, man, your woman is right here in front of you. Like, dude, like Butcher's crazy. And yeah. Butcher's not wrong, but he's also crazy. And your woman needs you now, man. Like, what's you tripping?
And especially like all like aside from Butcher's not a great role model.
No. I think there's a part of him that wants to kind of be the father to the kid and kind of like let this go. But I think even sort of what we've seen from Milk, can he let this go? At least until he considers it done. And I think what Butcher considers this done is Homelander's death. But what worries me is, even if Homelander dies, Vought still stands. And if Vought still stands, it technically will never be over. And Butcher will never get any rest or peace. So I guess maybe not to say that this is futile, because I don't know if I believe that either, but I don't know. I think he thinks like, oh, Homelander's dead. Hey, everything is be fixed. Like the sun will shine again, and roses will bloom, and everything's great. And I think if Homelander dies, let's say Homelander dies at the end of the season, I don't think Butcher or even Hughie will get the I guess the feeling or the closure that they think they're gonna get, which might be devastating to their characters as well. But that's not the only people that's been split up. We got our two lovebirds. They were whisked away. Actually, they were whisked away because Butcher, but you have Frenchie and you got Kimiko.
I thought you were talking about the deep in the octopus.
Oh.
Yeah, Kimiko. Yeah.
Starlight was like, You know what? I don't even care. Just what are you doing here?
Blackmail.
Yeah, it's like click. But yeah, like we get the kind of like the little musical number, which I wasn't mad at. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I guess it's going on in her mind, and this is cool, especially after the kiss. And I was like, oh snap, let's see you right there. I was like, I approve. You know, this has been a slow burn to this point. I approve. I will allow it. I will ordain your relationship. but seeing what they've been through since her losing her powers, and seeing now that Soldier Boy has kind of like blasted the house, I wonder if any of the heroes from the house blast will also experience power loss. And I wonder if that power loss is going to be permanent, or
That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Is it going to be permanent, or is Kimiko like going to gain her powers in like, you know, maybe like 2 more weeks, she'll start feeling stronger again? Like, will it kind of build back, I guess? You know, then that's been something I've been wondering, because I was like, I'm hoping her powers will come back. But then I was like, hey, the blast at the house, will that affect those heroes? Like, will they realize they have no powers? And if so, will that connect the dots of who did it? And as far as Vought is concerned. So I guess
I don't know.
We'll see.
What do you mean?
Like say some people from the blast of the house are like, hey, I don't have my powers anymore. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, oh, well, there was a blast of the house. And then Vought being like, oh, well, Soldier Boy is the one that did the blast. Can he take people's powers away? And that kind of thing. But that's just a random thought that was going on in my mind while I was watching it. You know, thinking about Kimiko and like, will she get her powers back? Because even though she doesn't have powers, oh yeah, she's still vicious. she definitely she doesn't play. Straight to the throat, straight to the chest, and
then a few more for good measure.
Yeah, just a few more. Just pop. No, she was stabbing, but understood. You know, like you kidnapped my man. Now you kidnapped me. I'm tied up. I don't know. Y'all gonna shoot us, or I don't know, torture us, whatever. So I gotta make sure I get you back. I am mad that the lady got away, but I understand. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That was another really well choreographed fight, which won't really be talked about because of the other one in this episode. But
yeah,
it was really well done. It was it felt very real in the sense that like they were reeling and they had pain and they had to stop and breathe, and it was it was very, I mean, graphics probably not the right word, but visceral. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
very visceral.
And then we learn more about Frenchie, where at least I don't think before now we knew his real name, or maybe they did, and I just forgot it. But
yeah, we've heard it a couple times.
Okay, because
it's just everybody calls him Frenchie.
Yeah, and then seeing what he's gone through and like her pointing out the different parts of his life and the things that are going on, and it's just like, man, all of these people like have gone through some serious stuff, like, and you know, then of course the way the scene plays out with him not even being able to kind of like contribute to the fight, just kind of like hoping it works out, it adds a level of like a higher level of stakes, because like I said, when I listed the people that I thought were safe in this show, Kimiko and Frenchie were not on that list, and definitely not the old girlfriend, not the ex-girlfriend. She was definitely not on the list. So I was like, since this is kind of a mid-season finale, sort of, I guess you could consider it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many episodes there are this season, actually.
I thought, are there 13 or like 10 or 13? But I was just kind of scared for a second. I was like, man, this might be it for them. But I'm glad it's not, and I'm glad that, you know, we got the kiss, and I want to see where it goes. I want to see where that goes. I know it might not be the most healthy of relationships, but I do think they care about one another, and I think it's genuine. I think it's genuine from both ends. So, I'm down for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, respect. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Is that
here.
the finale?
I don't believe so. It shouldn't be. At least I don't believe it was a finale. But yeah,
No. I don't know. It doesn't list how many total episodes there are, but
all right.
I want to say it's like 10 or 12.
Okay.
But it might be like 8 because it is 8. Yeah. Okay. Because the first 2 were 8. So there's 2 more.
All right. So we got 2 more, y'all. It's probably about to get crazy. Oh, especially because I assume, I guess, since we know that there's 2 more, let's go on and I'll say this. Final thoughts from you, Mr. Miller, on what you think, we're going to get out of these last 2 episodes and where you think we're going to go.
Man, I part of the reason why I like this show so much is I don't know what's going to happen. They keep doing stuff and I'm like, oh shit. I like that.
It's like I didn't see that
coming. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think A-Train's gonna have some type of noble sacrifice, and I don't know. I'm really curious also how like the drug thing like is gonna play out with Hughie and Butcher. Like Butcher less so, because he is always kind of that he's going on full blast. He's gonna burn himself out. Like he doesn't really care about that. Whereas with Hughie, we know that if this feels more of like a rebellious phase than like really who he is. So I'm curious how, especially with how things went with Starlight, if that's gonna be his like awakening call, or if he's gonna go deeper in it and something else is gonna shake him out of it. I don't know. But I really I want to see Homelander and Soldier Boy fight again. I want to know more. I'd like to see
it round 2.
Yeah, there's still a lot of like mystery around Soldier Boy too. So I'm guessing that next episode will probably be like, we haven't seen Stan Edgar since he got like ousted or whatever, right? Like he's still there somewhere, right? So
someone is calculating as him might be sitting back like, let me watch how this plays out.
Plus, to this episode, there was the thing with Black Noir where he was like, "What? Soldier Boy's alive? I am out."
He was like.
He was like, I don't know if he went to go save Stan, or if he just literally went into hiding or something, but I'm sure that is going to, especially since he's the one that sold Soldier Boy out, like that confrontation has to happen too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I'm just really excited. Every time I watch this show, I'm like, damn, that was really good.
Yeah, they're coming with it this season, and I think I'll go with you on that. My final thoughts: Black Noir is definitely in the wind, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Like he's like, all right, I gotta get my weapons together or something, or if this is like, nope, I'm out. Like, Stan Edgar, I think, is still a factor that we'll see come into play in the finale, because Victoria, I'm not sure if Victoria is super sold on Homelander and his leadership, because I don't think that what she told to, or maybe some of it that she told to Starlight might have been like kind of like a game, just like the game that they play politically, volleying back and forth. But I think some of it might be like, yo, okay, Homelander actually is kind of crazy. Maybe if I could have somebody on my side just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
even though I could kind of look at him and blow him up, like.
Can she though?
I mean, I guess. I mean, he can get bruised, so I guess the head blow up works. Maybe.
I feel like that if that. I don't know. We don't know.
I don't think she wants to take that chance.
But it doesn't feel like it feels like she is scared of Homelander. Like I feel like that's why she betrayed Stan, outside of also being like, you just used me my whole life, but maybe I could see that being a plausible possibility of like one of the ways that he possibly could die. But that I don't know. I felt like she was being genuine in her proposal to Starlight, but also I don't understand why as a character she would do that. Like, I'm just not sure where her allegiances lie, because she thought she was loyal to Stan and then she betrayed him, and then it's like she's loyal to the company. She's kind of like her own independent kind of thing, but still works for Vought and Homelander.
And then she's like, yeah, I want to get this, education bill through. It's like, huh? Well, is I don't know where that's gonna lie, but Black Noir, I definitely want to see whatever comes of that next episode, or next 2 episodes. I want to see Stan back in there, and maybe one more meetup with Homelander. I guess we gotta get that. I guess we kind of gotta get it. I don't think they're gonna hold us off. They've been very good about paying us off with different, fights and characters, and so I don't think they're gonna make us wait until next season to see them clash.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about the show is the pacing is like exceptional.
Yeah, they don't super make you wait for things. And I'm, Moses said Victoria lacks superhuman reflexes. Yeah, because she'd have to be in a position.
But she also killed all those people from outside the room across the street. So if she just needs to see someone to be able to do that, she can do that to him without, like, yes, if they get in a room and they're like, all right, let's fight. Like, yeah, she's fried. There's no chance. But if she's just like walking around Vought and he's in there, like, if she could do that, then from what we've seen,
But if it takes her longer to do than the average person, but would he not recognize what it is and literally, like, I guess, go straight to her and kill her? I don't know. There's a lot of variables there. There's a lot of variables.
We're already on the assuming that she can do that to Homelander. That's one variable. Then is it different than him than other humans?
That's another variable.
And then also, like, taking all that into account, you're saying that that's going to happen. He's going to instantly know, like, oh, Victoria's doing this to me. Like, we don't know if
because she's never done it to him, so he doesn't know what the feeling is like.
Well, also, we don't even know if he knows that she has powers.
Well, yeah, he knows because he had the Stan Edgar stuff. So he's got to know.
That's right. Yeah, he read the files. Okay, yeah. So he does.
I don't know if he knows the extent of them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know, how it's progressed, or how maybe she can pinpoint it better these days or something. I don't know. But we do see that she kind of used it a little bit on Starlight because her nose was bleeding. Mm-hmm. So maybe she gave her like a little piece of the power. So with that said, I honestly love the show. I'm digging the show. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna throw it over to Mr. Miller. Tell them where they can find you and say peace.
I can be found at all the places where you find people. At Dog Like Nate with 2 G's.
That I still love. Man, it's one of my favorite names. One of my favorite usernames ever. And of course, guys, a big shout out to Blurtish. I'm wearing the t-shirt. Go check out some comics and all that stuff, t-shirts and all that jazz. They're awesome. NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Put the thumbs up. You know the deal. Subscribe, share, all that jazz. You know what's up. Look, we'll be here after the finale. All right, the finale happens, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be like, yo, look, hey, you saw that? Oh, that was crazy. I'm just predicting. We'll be like, oh, do you see that was an explosion? Or do you see when that person got cut up? Oh, that was oh, there's the membrane on the ground.
Practicing your reactions.
Yeah, like, oh man. It is random to step into an elevator. Somebody literally tear their arm open, give you like a little tracking chip, and just be like, didn't even say peace, just walked away.
I mean, I feel like if you work at Vought, you've
seen some things.
You've probably seen some things around the office.
Yeah, you see some things. Shouts to ZSB Lou on Umbrella Academy. I haven't checked it out yet because things have just been crazy with my schedule. But yes, season 2, in my opinion, was better than season 1. So I'm interested to see what season 3 has. But until next time, you know what I'm saying? Until the 8th episode closes and Homelander is laying under Soldier Boy's boot. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see. But until then, from us to you, thank you for watching and peace. We out. What's up? This what's up. This what's up.
Finish him off. If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dream came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain.
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space and the entire crew is revived, it can be told you. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Patron. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
You're listening to my daddy, All Gorilla